What's up? If you like board games, miniatures, and the smell of paint and glue, you are in the right place. Welcome to Boardgasm. All right, here we go. Let's do it. Come on in. Wow. All right, folks. Boardgasm 12. Wow. We got a crowd in here. I got a cool show tonight, folks. All right. Let's turn down the loud music. My name is Cardone. This is Boardgasm number 12. And you're watching Cardone Entertainment right here on YouTube Live. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I've got 3 live shows a week. And not only are there 3 live shows a week, there are 4 different shows it could be. And Boardgasm is one of them. I haven't done one in a while. I'm excited. We got some board gamers coming in. Sherman. I love it. Come on in, folks. All right, let me check one thing. Making sure my... Yeah. Cool. Wow, what a weekend. What a week. As board games go, before we get to all things games, if you're new... Oh, thank you, Cassandra. If you're new, hit subscribe, hit like, and... you might want to look at the description of the show, because in the description it has all the games that are played in the chat. And anybody in here want to show them what to do in the chat? If you write the word exclamation point and then the word points, you will see how many points you have in your tally. Everybody's got points, even if you're new. If you're a subscriber, I think you get a few more points. The more you chat, the more points you get, and then you can gamble them. And you will see people gambling them in here tonight. You hit exclamation point, then you put the word risk right beside it, and then you put a space, and then how many points you want to risk. So you can play games while we're talking about games. What's up, Dallas? Yeah, Helen? See, Helen's in here already. We have 2 people that have redeemed points. 2 for mystery boxes that I'm making right now, actually. Oh, you can gamble at every show. I'll show you how in a second. Cassandra has M.70. What? Wow. Amanda, you have a mystery box coming. And Ashworth, you have one coming too. There's 700 points. And there are people in here that have more points than that. I know there are. So there you go. 159 points. Ashworth, you got a mystery box I'm putting together. So that'll go out maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah. So I want to see you guys gambling tonight. Exclamation point, risk, right beside it, space, how many points? If you look at the description, you will see. A shout out to my bot, Zalthon. Do you know how hard it is for me to change my Streamlabs name to Zalthon? Folks, it's really hard to do. Why? Because I'm running it on YouTube. Some reason why it won't work. Anyway, Zalthon's my moderator, and... Whoa, someone just says 50 points. Zalthon is a tyrant, and if you use too many bad words, he will scold you. I like Zalthon. He's a good guy. What else before I get into the nitty-gritty here? Oh, this Friday! Okay. Because I'm doing a Boardgasm this week, the giveaway on Friday is kind of cool. In honor of my role-playing game, I Dungeon Master twice a week now, and I have been for a long time. The game I play is Dungeon Crawl Classics by Goodman Games, and I'm going to give away one of their modules. Brand new. I had 2 of them. It's a level 2 module. It's really fun. I like this one because you can fit it into any small town. If you have a town adventure, you can put it right in. So right there, Fences Fortuitous Folly. So this module retails for $10. It's going to be given away for free on Friday on the show live to my chat. And in honor of Goblinko releasing a new game, which, I keep trying to light this incense. Hold on. Wait till you see what I have here. Hold on. Let me get this rolling. I'm lighting something. Yes, I'm lighting a fire. There we go. In honor of Goblinko putting out a new game, you're going to get a really cool postcard, but more importantly, you're going to get a badge. I had an extra one, and they send me some extra stuff because I promote them, which they're really nice to do that. Goblinko, if you're watching, and they do watch sometimes, shout out to you. Tonight's episode's half Goblinko. Mama Cardone in the house. What's up, Mama? How are you? So, yeah, that's for Friday. This is like a 10, 15, I don't know, $16 prize I'm giving away free. I'll send it to you in the mail. But you got to show up on Friday and be in the chat. Oh, you got the opulent shirt. My whole house reeks of incense. What the heck? This incense is crap tonight. What happened? I'm trying to light incense here because I have something I want to show you, and it's not working. I'm lighting my cheesy incense burner, and it's not working. Okay. Silly. All right, hold on. More things. Okay. Yeah, if anybody knows how to change the name on the chat in here, it's almost impossible. Someone told me that Streamlabs doesn't have it set up yet for YouTube. I could change the name on Twitch, but not YouTube. So maybe I have to wait. Next week, Monday, I'm doing evening hour. Tuesday, I Dungeon Master right here. And maybe, just maybe, I might run it live. Boardgasm live RPG play. Next week, Tuesday. It's going to start at about 7, I guess we'll start it at 8. It'll probably run till 11. It'll be a 3-hour show. So, folks, tune in. If it's happening and you see me advertise it, check it out. We have 4 players. It's me and 4 players that have been playing for many years. And it's a really neat game. It could be a movie. It's that good. The storyline. It's shockingly amazing. Lots of gang warfare in medieval fantasy. So that's coming up. What else? Oh, I know what. I was thinking, what the heck game haven't they made yet? They're really going far. They're making lots of movie games. They're making, they put out a Shining game and a Jaws game and a Friday the 13th game. And there's so many other things they should be making into games. Oh, yeah, it's starting to work. Okay. So, for instance, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. What a great dungeon crawl that would be. One where you play. You know what would be cool? It'd be cool if you could do one where you played the clowns and you went through and just took over towns, or the clowns are invading and you're killing them. I think it would be great. So anybody out there that knows anybody in the board game business, that's an IP I think it's cheap to get. The other one is the Phantasm series. What a killer board game that would be. Yeah, I've read reviews of the Friday game and it was and the Shining game The Thing game that came out is fantastic. Sharky in the house, great class tonight. My hands feel good. Now, Masters of the Universe is being knock his block off, exactly. Masters of the Universe is being made into a board game right now. There's one in Europe that's already out, and there's an American one coming out by, I believe, Simon Games or Come On Games. It looks pretty cool. I will Kickstarter it when it happens. I'm a huge Motu fan. Masters of the Universe is a big part of my childhood. You know, this damn incense burner ain't working tonight. Wonder why. I know why. Because there's a breeze. I'm going to shut this. And I'm going to shut this. And there will be a breeze that makes the incense burner operate correctly. Maybe I'm wrong. So yeah, if anybody knows anything in the board game world, my God, a Phantasm board game, Killer Clowns board game, two really great IPs that would be cool games. All right, people are winning points. People are I'm watching myself walk around on my iPhone. It's weird. I think we're ready to get this one rolling. I have a lot to talk about, a lot to show. Today's a show and tell episode. And tonight, we are going to be talking about one of my favorite game companies that's new. Oh, Battle Royale. Again, great one. Perfect. The game company we're going to be talking about tonight is Goblinko. And Goblinko made Dungeon Degenerates. I put it at the top of my favorite board game list. Creative, new, dark. It's got lots of danger elements, meaning there's like drug dealing in the game and the plague, and it's got a dark, heavy flavor. It's a sandbox. You can do whatever you want. It was a new game that I thought wasn't going to be that great, but it looked cool. It looks cool and it's a good game. It's both. It's the artwork fuels the real game and the real game fuels the artwork. It's a brilliant little, well, it's not a little game. It's not easy to play. So, they also put out a line of miniatures which are not necessary for the game. And they wanted to do a game with a lower price point, easier, kids can jump in, fast, not so involved. And I present to you Dungeon Breakout. Now, Dungeon Breakout, this is part of the box. Dungeon Breakout used some of the Dungeon Degenerate characters. And I just so happen to have every single Dungeon Degenerate mini ever made, except for one, painted. Not the new ones either. But all the ones that are available, I have them all painted, except for one. The Brute Lord. Anybody out there watching has an extra Brute Lord? Please, I'll buy it off of you. If Goblinko's watching, please remake the Brute Lord. Hey, Pataki, what's up? Awesome. So these are the minis that come with Dungeon Breakout. Now, they don't actually come in the game. They're separate, but I wanted you to see that. And, oh, there goes the incense. So let's talk about Dungeon Breakout. I'm going to unbox it in a second. This box is a lot smaller than this. The artwork is ridiculously cool. You can't see the detail here. Let me see if I can get it really good. It's really well done art. The artist who makes all of this, his name is Sean Auberg, and he's been around for a while. He's an old school punk rocker, and he put out the magazine Pork. So if you've ever been to a tattoo parlor or where rock and roll people hang out, you might have seen a really big newspaper print magazine called Pork. That's him. He's a zine artist who decided to make a board game. And here's one right here. I'm going to now move some stuff around here because I want you to see how amazing this stuff is. Okay, so Dungeon Breakout comes in this cool box. I'm going to push these guys over here. And when you open it up, the thing that's neat, oh, we had a figure avalanche, is it's a one-page rule book. It's one sheet. Oh, avalanche, toy avalanche. I have a lot of toy avalanches. Okay, one page. That's it, front and back. And the miniatures that it comes with look like this. They're just, you know, cardboard little punch-outs. These are the real miniatures. And you can buy the set of many metal miniatures that correspond to this, if you so desire. I'm going to give the other cam a look here. These miniatures that are being made are J.C. Faircloud, Thunder Child Miniatures, I believe from the UK, yes. And, okay, I'm going to Ashworth, look at this. These are hand-sculpted miniatures. All the new miniatures that you see that look really awesome everywhere, everybody, 99% of them now are made in the computer and then shrunk down, and then they, you know, they print them out. These are hand sculpts. They are hand sculpted. They're whimsical. They look hand sculpted. Look at this. Here's the alley cat. It's a little kid who turns into a cat. These characters are in the game Dungeon Degenerates. They're also into this. Here's Jack Slasher, he's a serial killer. Oh, I forgot to mention. Look at this guy. The fluff of the game, the backstory, it's medieval fantasy, but it's more like Warhammer because it's got the Germanic flavor. It's got black powder weapons, swords, musket-style weapons. And you play people getting out of prison. So everybody in Dungeon Degenerates has a record of why they were in jail. These are the same characters. Let's see here. Who else do we have? Two rare characters that were Kickstarter exclusives. They originally were made in resin. Now you can get them in metal because they're in this game. I present to you the infamous Butcher and the Angel of Death. Yes, that's a Slayer reference. So, I mean, these are really great. They're really well-made miniatures. I'm going to be honest, they're my favorite new miniatures to paint in the last 20 years. No joke. I've been painting minis for a long time, and I like them. So, if you don't have minis and don't want to paint them, you get this. Guess what? It's totally fine. These are made really well. It's just the figures. And now the game. You get dice and little standees. Or a die. It's one little red die. Or black with red spots. You get the cards. And I'm going to open these up. These are monster cards. And they have a very simple stat. Just a number. That you have to beat with the dice. And then we have loot cards, which have the gear. Loot and the gear. The card stock's great. The colors are brilliant. Really big, bright colors. Everything fits in the box. I don't think I'll card sleeve these. I might. And then we've got these awesome tiles. Look at these, folks. This is the starting tile. And this is that's an end with a treasure. Okay, so the game itself, I'm probably going to do a playthrough next week and teach how to play it. But guess what? I already played this game a lot. I was one of the play testers. I was lucky enough to be one of the guys that got to play test this game. And let me tell you, I was psyched. When he asked me to do that, I was like, wow, I'm a major fan of these games. So me getting to do that, pretty darn cool. I took it seriously. Me and my daughter, Moonlight, who's an avid board gamer, I keep telling her, I'm like, Moon, you're an official nerd now. She's in a weekly Dungeons and Dragons, well, Dungeon Crawl Classics. She's in a weekly role-playing game campaign, and she has been for years. So she's an official nerd. Me and her were the ones that play tested it. We played it a lot, and I really like the game. My review is, it's fast. It moves fast. The only negative thing is you need a big table because you're laying these tiles out. It goes far. It's tactical, and I'm going to give it the same review that I always give Munchkin. It might seem like kind of random nonsense at the beginning, but you got to play it a couple times. Because once you play it a few times, you realize that it's highly strategical, and you really have to pay attention to everything. You basically, part of the game is being able to lay the tiles in a manner that's cool and productive and doesn't slow the game down or you from winning. So when you get a card, a tile, you have to play it. If you can't play it, you lose your turn. And those tiles have treasures and monsters, and then you fight them and you get gear. The cool element is you can backstab your buddy. I forget what it's called in the game, but you can, while he's in a room, let's say he's got lots of gear and he's having an easy time kill the monsters. Well, you can steal some of his gear. It's called pickpocketing. You can take it from him. And if he loses to a monster, they lose all their gear and go back to the beginning of the maze. Pretty cool. So I really, really, really do like this game. I need to lay it out and actually play it so that you can see how it moves and the flow. And I think I'm going to do it next week. Maybe on Wednesday. Maybe on Monday. We'll see what how the weekend goes. But I really want to do a live demo and teach how to play it. That way whoever buys it can watch my demo. And I watch game demos too. I read the rule book, then I watch a game demo, and then I read the rule book again. And that's how I get it usually, especially the complicated ones. This game here, I'm going to be honest. Dungeon Degenerates, the rule book is insane. It's thick. It has a lot in it. The scenario book is insane. I wish they would put a hardback copy. That would be so sick, a hardback copy of the rule book, because it gets used so much in the game. Well, no, it doesn't really. Some parts do. I kind of have it memorized now, but when I was learning how to play it, I had a hard time. I was like, what am I supposed to be doing here? And it's because it's an open world. I've never played a board game where you can go wherever you want and do whatever you want. Yeah, there are missions. You can do them. You can ignore them and do other missions if you want. I've never had a game like that. It's like a video game. It's an analog version of an open world video game. And I love it. I've never seen that before done to this extreme. You need a pretty large table for this. I basically have it set up permanently. I took it down recently because I've been so busy, but it'll get put up again. And once it's up, it kind of just stays up for a while. And you can run a turn and then stop playing. It doesn't end. It ends when you want it to end. So, unless you die. But I've been playing Dungeon Degenerates now since the day it came out. It's the same game. I've never ended the campaign. It's been like a 3-year run, and I'm constantly playing it. So, anybody winning in here? Any questions, please ask tonight. This is an interactive show. Usually when I do these board game ones, people are quiet because I'm not bringing up philosophy. Whenever I bring up philosophy, people start yapping, which is why I like philosophy. It spawns thought. Games spawn thought too. especially when you whip out a beholder that's also a squishy. The premise of the game. Of which one? This game here, the premise, the new one. All right. The new game, the premise is you're in a dungeon and you're just trying to escape. That's it. And the last guy you got to fight is a jailer. This game starts off with you fighting the jailer. Actually, it starts off with the jailer going, yo, you want to do something cool? I'll let you out of jail. And you can either A, listen to the guy, or B, fight him and kill him and leave. That's how that game starts. So you literally start off as an escape convict in this game. This too, you're a convict trying to escape. And then once that starts, depending on your decisions in this game, there are missions that show up. For instance, one of the missions was the Scroglin King, who's a frog king in the swamplands, hired me and my players to go assassinate somebody. So we went, assassinated the person, and then went back and assassinated the frog king, the Scroglin King. You don't have to do that, but we did. And we stole his loot, which is a crown. And one of my characters, Glebe, has the crown. It's a crown that has magic powers. And then we went on another mission. I mean, it's just nonstop. Right now, in the game that I'm playing, there's a plague, so I'm trying to deal with that. But I think we're gonna go to the Goblin area and try to like kind of take it over and make it our own. I don't know yet. And that's why the game's fun. You get to decide what you want to do, and then make it happen. I've never seen a board game that behaves like that. Not like this. So, and in the world that you're in, yes, there's drugs, there's mushrooms and witchweed and scratch, which is like a heroin, and there's the addicts and the junkie types and the zombies. There's 4 areas of the map in Dungeon Degenerates. There's the highlands, the lowlands, the badlands, and the wetlands. They're all different. They all have different monsters. The lowlands is the government and the major city of Brutalberg, which is where you start. And then once you venture out, it gets kind of wild. And you really feel like you're in it. There's not many games that do that. So I highly recommend it. This is requires some effort in learning. But once you got it, it is so fun. You feel free. Like you can really kind of do what you want. This is I call this a pickup game. I don't know what other people call them. A pickup game is a game you can play at lunch break. You know, you can throw this in your book bag and go play this at lunch break at work or at school or wherever you are. I've also heard them called beer and pretzel games. But I think a pickup game's better. I have a lot of pickup games, short and sweet. For me, Munchkin is a pickup game. I can bust out a game of Munchkin quick. I love Munchkin. I'm a major Munchkin fan. So, Goblinko, if you go to... If you go to Goblinko, Goblinko... Where's the logo? Anywho, you will see that they have a YouTube channel. Now, not only did they put out that new game, in true fashion, they put out new miniatures. Now, they do resin miniatures, but look at this. They decided to do metal for this. They gave me this sticker. Look at this sticker. Love it. A Goblinko postcard with the cover. So this was the Kickstarter exclusive, the Slime Lord. And he is a major metal mini, which I will paint. You can't even see the detail. And then they did... Greasy Guys. Again, they come old school in a box. That's the sex dwarf. Yes, there's a sex dwarf in the game. A berserker. Look how big this is. Oh, something else that's kind of cool. They represent female characters a lot. Half the characters are females, and they're really cool. They're all like Amazonian barbarian women, and one of them's a carnival drifter. There's the Angel of Death, who's like an assassin type, and I think that's kind of cool that they're like, I don't like it when game companies visibly make decisions to fit in with what's going on. Meaning, what do they call, like, what's a good example? When they're like, Superman has to be female now. And you're like, really? All right, well, that's a little forced. It seems now there's a lot of that going on that seems totally forced. And a lot of it are corporate companies doing it so they don't get yelled at, even though they don't actually buy into it. They're just following the rules. And it looks forced. This game, it doesn't look forced. Why? Because these guys are cool. They don't have to force it. It looks normal. They're like, look, we're going to have badass chicks in the game, and that's easy to do. So I think that's kind of cool. So yeah, these minis, they're old school metal miniatures. Look at that. This box is heavy. And then they did this box here. This one's got the Mega Rat. Look at the size of this thing. And there's no point in these. They even have Japanese monsters. This guy's like a walking umbrella. So the fluff in this game is really imaginative. And then they did all of the dungeon breakout characters, which are these. So, super imaginative game. It feels new and fresh, even though it reminds me of all the 80s stuff. I don't think of it as a OSR, a retro vibe. Oh, thank you, Corey. Yeah, they're just plain old. I really think this is a breath of fresh air in gaming. They're using old school techniques, meaning they're hand sculpting minis. The game is it's board game based. It doesn't have an app. So it's the real deal. So I highly recommend it. Goblinko, Dungeon Degenerates, and now Dungeon Breakout. Check it out. Okay. Let's keep it moving. I want to talk about Root. Anybody know about Root? This is Root. This is I don't know how much this game costs now, $60, $70. It ain't cheap. Maybe $50. It's a little box. I'm going to do a close-up now. Actually, here, let me do this. I love the art in this game. A game of woodland might and right. I've been playing this game now for about 3 years. There are many expansions. They're all pretty darn good. This base game is fantastic. And I wanted to talk about it because people don't really get what this is. It's not a normal board game. I just played it again for the millionth time on Monday. A friend of mine came over and we played it, and I hadn't played it in a little while, and it's just so addicting. Once you're done, you want to immediately play it again. And the reason why I like this game so much is because learning how to play it is kind of part of the game. So here's the premise. The map, which, let me see here. Do I have one right here? There's a few different maps now. So, this is the original. What the heck are all these chips? Oh, I know what these are. So the map is this. I'll open it up for you. Beautiful art. It's like 1970s children's book art. Even though the game is not a kid's game. Okay. This is what the board looks like. See the little areas of land and the little paths. So this is the forest. And in the forest, in the game that comes with it, there are 4 factions. And you pick a faction. One of the factions is called the Marquis de Cat. And those are the cats. And there are a lot of cats, and they run the forest. They are the governance of the forest. They're the bosses. Okay? Then you have the Eerie Dynasty. The Eerie Dynasty are the birds. And the birds, they used to rule the forest, but they don't anymore, and there are not as many as them. And they're a little mad, and a little resentful. So you got the cats, the birds. Then you've got the Woodland Alliance. Boop. And it's the bunnies, the mice, the squirrelies. It's all the little furry critters. They're the alliance. And they're like the communists trying to overthrow stuff. They're like the progressively social aware, communistic leaning group of people that are trying to have an upheaval. And so in the game, if you attack them, they get stronger. Okay, that's another faction. And then there's a faction that's one person. And he is called the Vagabond. Little buddy there. There's a raccoon. But it's not just a raccoon. There are many vagabonds you get to choose from. There's a raccoon, and there's a skunk, and there's a mole, or a possum, and they're all the lone guys. They're alone, and it's just one. So whoever plays that is just one person. Now here's why the game is nuts and not easy and a little confusing. Each faction is playing a completely different game. I mean it. They are literally playing a version of Solitaire that is run in nowhere near any way the other players are playing their game. For instance, the cats, they have a certain amount of actions. They move around and they build things. And they get points. The goal is to get enough points. The birds don't do that. They have to predict what they're going to do and then make it happen. And if it doesn't, they have a penalty. It's very weird. The Wanderer, or the Vagabond, he is buying and selling things off of all the sides. And he attacks them too. So he might sell you something and then kill one of your dudes and leave. You never know. And you can't kill him. He's unkillable. He just keeps going. When you attack him, you're destroying his gear. So the components, there's a deck of cards, and there's resources that you are all sharing and interacting with. So the game is about the thing living and the things moving, and this is going on, and that's getting built, and those guys are getting attacked, and they're trading this, and the Vagabond sells me something to help fight that guy, and then that guy. It's just like it's moving, and it's like an organic feel. So when it's your turn, you have a card in front of you that tells you how to make your turn happen. And then when it's done, it's the next guy's turn. And that's it. The other factions that are introduced, which is why this is great, there's the moles. The moles are just as numerous as the cats. But they're underground, and they're coming out. The ravens, the Corvid conspiracy, they're called. Those guys, that's La Cosa Nostra. They're gangsters. They're literally gangsters. They extort and set bombs. That's their game. Then there's the lizard cult, and they're a religious order. They're the religious fanatics of the game, and they make these gardens that are beautiful. And when you go in, you get overtaken, and they can transform your pieces into lizard cult members. And then there's the otters. The otters run the rivers, and they're the merchants. They're selling stuff, and they're like the business guys. So those are the factions that are available. And then there's a million vagabonds you can pick from. There's like 8 now, I think. Now, here's what's really nuts. They figured out how to make each faction have an AI version. So you can play alone now. Or you can play with 2 players and have one of the other persons run as a bot. I mean, it's an AI version of the character. I mean, Folks, this is some smart stuff. The other appeal to the game is that it uses meeples. Focus. See the little cat meeple? It uses wooden meeples, lots of them. So when you're playing the game, they're all over the place, these little wooden guys. It looks great when you're playing. It's fun to learn how to play. And like I said, once you're done playing a game, you're like, I want more. Now, my review of where the bad is, the bad, there's a few. Well, one reviewer, I forget who, said, once you learn how to play the game in detail, you're done. You don't need to play anymore. I was like, that's weird, but I kind of understand what he means. Part of the fun of the game is learning how to play the game. I'm not kidding you. It's like, whoa, you have to do all these things. It's like solitaire, and you're like, I move this here, I do this, and I can do that. Oh, if I want to do that, I have to do this. Okay. While you're doing that, somebody might be messing with you and messing up your solitaire game. And you're like, why are you doing that? So, someone lost their points. I love how people get risky. So, the game itself, great. It doesn't have a good finish. What do I mean by that? The grand finale. A lot of board games like Monopoly, the game Monopoly, boring. It doesn't have a finish. It just goes. And eventually it's like, oh, I guess it's over. Well, Root, the end just kind of sneaks up on you. You're like halfway to the points to win, and somebody jumps ahead, and you're like, When they win, it's like, you don't feel bad. That's why I like that game. It's about winning, but it's not about winning. It's about living in this board and making it work organically. And making good decisions. There's a few moments in the game last week, or on Monday, where it was my turn, it was early in the game, and I was like, there's a million options. I could go over here, I could build this, I could do that, what should I do? So I thought, well, scoring points is important, focus on that. So there's a thing in the game where you can craft items, and you get points. So I was focusing on that. But I barely won. I almost didn't win. It was moles versus lizards was the battle. Very good. Can't stop yawning. Wonder why I'm yawning today. It's the weather. I think it's the weather. What else did I have to say? I had a couple other things. Tonight's episode's not that long because it's not a philosophy episode. When I do philosophy, I can talk for hours. It just doesn't end. I mean, we can talk about philosophy and board gaming. Why is board gaming not make me feel guilty when I spend a lot of time doing it? Never does. Video gaming, I feel guilty. Watching movies, sometimes I feel guilty of wasting time. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing. So, anytime I do board gaming, role-playing gaming, dungeon mastering, when I'm done, I feel great. I really do. I feel like I did something productive. I feel like I shared a moment with a friend. I feel like, who do I usually pick? Good question. Thank you, Pataki. I really like the moles. I like the birds, the one that you have to kind of predict what's going to happen. It's called a decree. It means when it's your turn, you have to follow the decree in order. If you don't, you lose your leader. So the decree might be make 2 moves, make 2 fights, build. So I'm like, all right, 2 moves, 1, 2, make 2 fights. All right, they're going to fight. They're going to fight. Build. I can't build. I don't have the setup to build right now. I lost. So then you lose a bunch of stuff, and then you lose your leader, and you got to start over. That's how that one works. The moles are just kind of pouring out and doing their thing. They're kind of easy. I do like playing I do like playing the Wanderer, the Vagabond, but I don't get to play him so often. The cats are okay, and the Woodland Alliance, it's okay. I don't hate them. Some people love them. The Woodland Alliance, if you attack them, they get strong. So when there's a lot of them, you're like, I gotta get rid of those guys, but I don't know what to do. Now, there's a meta thing going on in the game. There's a deck of cards. And in the deck of cards, there's all these crazy things that you can do that, well, okay. Dan, you just said, unfortunately, the wife doesn't like to play. I'm about to blow your mind right now. I don't know if you know this, but the new trend are games that you can play alone. Okay? And there's a lot of them. And I am a game nut. I have lots of people I play with, but I play alone. A lot of times at night, I play a solo game. I just sit down and set it up and play it. Dungeon Degenerates is a great solo game. It's a very elaborate solo game. I played it alone 5-6 months. Alone. I didn't want anybody to play it. I was like, this is me. So Dan, where there's a will, there's a way. There's a lot of solo games. I play this alone sometimes. I play Hellboy, the board game, alone a lot. I play Rambo, the board game. I've never played with anybody. Never. I played alone. Let me think. Kingdom Death, the $450 board game, crazy priced. You can play that one alone too. So they're making these ones where the dungeon master of sorts is the game. It's the AI. Walking Dead, the board game by Mantic. Excellent game. You can play alone, you can play co-op, or you can play versus. Me and my daughter played a game, I don't know, a month ago. It was humans versus humans, and in between were the zombies. And they're AI. They run on their own. Or you can play co-op. So there's a lot. Yes. Fallon, there's a lot of really good solo games now. And they're just as legit. They're like solitaire. A lot of them are like the bad guys have an AI. Like every turn they move forward and they take an action. So you go, all right, this guy here, this guy here. He's going to fight my guy. And then when it's your turn, you're like, all right, they're all here. I only have 3 Hellboy, each character has 3 actions. So you're like, all right, Hellboy, he's going to move. That's 1 action. 2, he's going to punch that guy. Oh, it didn't kill him. All right, so he's going to take his gun out and shoot him. 3rd action. Or Hellboy might have been like, all right, I'm going to move. And then the other player's like, all right, I'm also going to move. Hellboy's like, I'm going to punch this guy. Oh, I missed. This guy's like, I'll shoot him for you. And then Hellboy finishes by investigating something. So a lot of them you can do this turn in any sequence you want, which is part of, one deck dungeon. Sherman just brought up. Haven't played it yet, but I've heard it's good from you. That's another new one. I'm trying to think of other the ultimate solo game. I have it over here. I'm going to show it to you. And Rick Sherman, you and me still have to try this. This is a game. Oh, it's not here. I'm like walking over to get it. I'm like, it's not there. Sherlock Holmes, consulting detective. There's no board. There's nothing. There's a case file, a map of London, a clue book for each case, and that's it. It's all here. It's a game of deduction. It's been around since the 70s. They've updated it. It's a great family game. It's a great car trip game. It's a great over-the-phone game. All you have to do is know the story and have these books. And even if your buddy doesn't have them, he can be part of it. You can ask him what he thinks. So how it works, and you don't need anybody there. You basically read the case and try to deduct what happens. And when you're ready, you go, all right, I want to know. You open up an envelope and it tells you. And depending on how many clues you used is how many points you get. And if you get a certain amount of points, you beat Sherlock Holmes at his own game. And there are 10 cases. I've only done 2. The first case took me a month. Now, it says to do it in one evening, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go slow and get it right, and I got close, but I didn't do very well. I love it. It's one of those things that makes you really, like, think, and there's a mystery, and you will know what it is eventually. Major fan. Sherlock Holmes, Consulting Detective. Actually, I'm going to put something on and go get it and show it to you. Let's watch. Oh, I know what I can do. Let's watch a Captain Crunch commercial. I'll be right back.
Captain Crunch presents Breakfast on the Guppy. Morning already, Sea Dog? Where's the crew? All hands on deck! Pirates off the port bow! This ought to fetch 'em. It's Captain Crunch, the cereal named after me. Captain Crunch, delightfully sweet, sugar sweet, and fun to munch 'cause it keeps its crunch. So crisp, it never uncrunches, not even in milk. Now,
Anybody for a bowl of Captain Crunch?
scuttle my hornpipe, Sea Dog. There's people at breakfast I never saw before. Oh, man's got to be careful when he says Captain Crunch. Now it's your grocer's, Captain Crunch, the cereal that's named after me. Captain Crunch presents...
Wow. Now I'm hungry. All right. Sherlock Holmes, Consulting Detective. This is the newest edition. Who put this one out? There's been like 3 or 4 of these. Asmodee Games. And look at this. Oh, you slide this open, and the first thing you see are the London Times. So every case comes with... That's the rule book. So they come with one of these. This is the case book. And in the case book, in the back, there's an envelope with the secrets and all the stuff. And it has the clues, right? So when you want to look up a clue, you go in here. You lose points by doing that. There's also a newspaper for each case. It's 2 sides. And there's also a London directory of businesses and names and last names of people. And you look up in the directory, and it tells you where they are. Okay? Now, here's where it's nuts. Case number 1 uses the rule book, the case book, and a newspaper. Case number 2 uses the original newspaper and that newspaper. Case number 3 uses all 3 newspapers. Case 10 uses all 10 newspapers. So they get harder that way, where there's clues scattered throughout the newspapers, and you look and read the date, and you can start doing some math on what's happening. It's kind of cool. And, yeah, just wanted to plug that out. People forget about this game. It's been around for almost 40 years, and it's really good. There's a reason why it's been around for 40 years. When I was a kid, I used to see this in the game store and avoid it like the plague. I was like, oh, that looks boring. Who the heck wants to sit around and read? Right here. This is amazing. So, if you've got family, if you've got kids that are a little older, and, I always tell people, start your kids on board games early. Mine were born playing them. I think like the hard ones, like this, 10 years old, 8 to 10, no problem. There's no problem. You can get them to play. You make them active, you make them roll dice, you explain what's going on, and like that, they understand. Kids are way smarter than people give it to them. I teach kids magic. I dungeon master kids. I have 2 kids that are now pretty big now, but they're able to handle the hard stuff. No joke. So if you have kids or you're a teacher and you got a complex game, start teach them how to play it. Little kids play chess all the time. It's funny how much I don't like chess. I don't hate it, but I don't enjoy playing it. I don't know why. I was on the chess team in middle school, and we had to write down every move and analyze it, and the teacher would review our games, and it just didn't have it for me. I'd much rather play Warhammer or a role-playing game. And as for role-playing games go, yeah, dude, exactly. As role-playing games go, right here, folks, this is the rule book I don't use a lot. This is my master rule book. I have two rule books for this. Dungeon Crawl Classics. Actually, I should show you. If anybody here wants to role play, take your Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition and burn it. Because this is the greatest role-playing game ever made on the face of the earth. And I've been playing for a long time. This rule book is massive. It's $24. Okay? When I was in high school, middle school, the Dungeons and Dragons books were this thick and were $20. This is 40 years later, and it's almost the same price and way bigger. And then here's the same rule book with a different cover. They do special editions. Look at the size of this thing. Look at the artwork on this. Dude, Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. Boo. Looks like every other crappy fantasy art. This is unique. The gameplay is fantastic. It's easier to dungeon master and way fun to play. And it's brutal. Way brutal. Yeah. So, I mean, brutal meaning like the players die. It's not just for fun. I don't dungeon master like, where I roll the dice and if I fudge it just to make it fun. I never do that. To me, that's not how it's supposed to be played. It's supposed to be played realistically. If the character does something stupid and they fall off the bridge, they fall off the bridge and die. You don't have some miracle roll. I mean, there is a roll that you get to make. If there is a miracle roll. It's called a luck test at the end. If you fail it, the character's gone. And I've been in games where it happens to a higher level character, and it really is shocking. Which is the whole point of role-playing games. All right, folks. I'm going to bounce out of here. It's Wednesday. I'm going to look at my games. I'm not going to start painting these till next week. I will start painting those new minis. I prime them black, and then I start. They're so fun to paint. I can't wait. I don't like painting armor. I like painting hair and bone and flesh and fingernails, claws, scales. That's what I like. And these all have it. So it's going to be great. What else, folks? I'll be live here on Friday. I'm going to be giving away some Dungeon Crawl Classics stuff. I'm going to give away this. A module. Level 2. I had an extra. I'm going to share it. And a Dungeon Degenerates metal badge. A really nice one. It's got the knife and the sausage in the hand. So if you're a gamer, check out Friday, man. I'm going to be giving out some cool stuff. And wow, that was fun, folks. I hope you guys had a good time. Anybody win anything tonight? I don't think anybody won too much craziness tonight. Somebody's got 599 points. Sherman. Wow. I'm wondering if somebody knows how to do casino. Look at this. Hold on a second here. There's one more thing you can do in the chat that someone just told me. I did it once, but I forgot about it. Let's see if I can find it. I think it's called slots. So somebody put exclamation point slots, S-L-O-T-S, space, and then an amount. Let's see if it works. Here we go. I have the code here. Oh, yeah. So put exclamation... It's not going to work if I do it, but it looks like this. But then you got to put the space in the points you're going to wager. So let's see. Let me see if this works. If this works, I'm going to laugh. Nope. Maybe it's dismantled. Wow. Okay. Well, you can. There is a way to duel in here, too. Oh! Mine worked. I got a diamond and 2 thumbs. Darn. Let's see if Ashworth wins. This is kind of fun. Interesting. What a weird world we're living in. I'm talking to you via video camera. It's running. There's no videotape in here. There's no chip or anything. It's running live to Streamlabs. Streamlabs is now running it to it's running it to Twitch, and it's running to YouTube. And there's a bot it's just such a crazy... Uh-oh, you lost. Yeah, I don't know. I'm fascinated by all of this, and the fact that we're able to actually do this in the chat. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So Friday, if you show up, at the beginning, I'm going to ask you to write something in the chat, and then at the end, I roll a dice and give away the prize. If you're wondering what to do with your points, in my description, it says, hey, here's the web store that you go to redeem, and Ashworth and Amanda both did that. So they redeemed their 700 points. If you get 1,000, I mail you one of the cool posters. I have different ones. I have a big one, I have some small ones, but they're all really nice. And if you get 700, you get a mystery box. And Lord knows what you're going to get in there. Who knows? It could be bubble gum and some tchotchkes and a comic book. Who knows? I'm making some fun stuff. Stickers, a lot of stickers, buttons. So, all right, folks. This is amazing. I love this. I love that I have an audience. Keep coming back. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Hit the notify button. As for the donors, my gods, I don't know what to say. Thank you. You guys have all gotten... you got me a new camera. I can't be... I mean, I'm flattered. And lights and a new microphone. So, thank you, donors. And to everybody else, thanks. The least you can do, you don't have to donate. Just like the channel. Trying to get to 800 now. I'm almost at 800. And 1,000's right around the corner. 200 away? Got it. Once I'm at 200, I get monetized. And then we're really talking. So, and my algorithm changes. And we're going to have more content. I love doing this. Thank you. You're watching Boardgasm, episode 12. My name is Cardone. And I'm going to take you out with my trailer. And, yeah, party on. Hey, what's up? If you like board games, miniatures, and the smell of paint and glue, you are in the right place. Welcome to Boardgasm.